I totally get it. You're trying to get noticed and you don't know how. I mean, raise your hand if wondering where your next booking will come from keeps you up at night. I know how that feels like. I was there once too. But I'm about to help you get clear on how to increase your bookings and inquiries. After coaching many portrait and wedding photographers, I realized they all had one thing in common that was holding them back from booking their dream clients. They didn't know how to market themselves. Once they got clarity on how to show up and put what they learned from me into action, they began to book more of their dream clients. And now I'm excited to help you do the same. So I've created a mini course called Crystal Clear Marketing to, you guessed it, help you get crystal clear on how to attract and book your dream clients. I mean, the year I implemented this, my revenue grew from $69,000 to $137,000 in just 1 year. So if I can do it, you can do it too. So in case you're wondering, inside of the Crystal Clear Marketing mini course, I share how to optimize your website so that more of your dream clients inquire and book, how to go from being a generalist to becoming a specialist, and why it matters, how to find out who you are at your core and fuse it fearlessly into your business. Also, how to show up on IG so you attract quality followers. That's so important. How to make the money you deserve while feeling fulfilled with your work, and how to make marketing effortless and fun, because it should be. Running our business should be fun. So what I'm so excited to share with you is that I've made this very affordable. And right now until January 27th, it's available for a special introductory price. It's the lowest freaking price it'll ever be. And after that, the price will be going up forever. So to get all the deets and enroll in this mini course, go to saramonika.com/crystal clear. Again, head over to saramonika.com/crystal clear. I cannot wait to see you in there. I'm so excited to share everything that's in this episode for you because I really am so passionate about helping people make as much money as they possibly can for their craft, because we as photographers create such important gifts for the world with our photography. We spend so much time learning how to create a more deeper impact with our work, how to run our business. We wear all the hats, especially in the beginning of our business. We work so much and we so deserve to get paid really, really well for what we do. My whole why behind me constantly pursuing learning how to make more money, and as time goes on, learning how to make even a passive income so I can be a mom that spends as much quality time as possible with my kids and family and friends when that chapter arrives in my life. I have become really passionate to sharing how to cultivate more money in your business and in your life. And that's why I'm really excited to share this episode with you. When I first started my wedding photography business back in 2011, I made just $5,000 in my business. Now I bring in multiple six figures per year while working only 30-hour weeks serving my dream couples. I'm here to help you discover that it's so possible to have what you want when you want in your business so that you can create the life you've always dreamed of and deserve. Welcome to episode 47. I'm so excited to share everything that's in this episode for you because I really am so passionate about helping people make as much money as they possibly can for their craft, because we as photographers create such important gifts for the world with our photography, and we spend so much time learning how to create a more deeper impact with our work, how to run our business. We wear all the hats, especially in the beginning of our business. So we work so much and we so deserve to get paid really, really well for what we do. And I personally have always never really had a money block around feeling like I deserved a lot of money. I think it was because I grew up with my parents living paycheck to paycheck that I was like, I saw how much destruction there could be around that, around couples fighting over money. And I never wanted that for my kids. And of course, I love my parents. They did so much, so well. Like, I have amazing memories from my childhood, but also traumatic memories. And we all do. We all have amazing memories and traumatic memories. So my whole why behind me constantly pursuing learning how to make more money, and as time goes on, learning how to make even a passive income so I can be a mom that spends as much quality time as possible with my kids and family and friends when that chapter arrives in my life. So yeah, because I know how painful it can be to live in a household where there's so much stress around money, I have become really passionate to sharing how to cultivate more money in your business and in your life. And that's why I'm really excited to share this episode with you. So first, I'm going to dive into sharing a bit of my story. A lot of you might already know my story, but this one's going to be more concise, focusing only on what happened in that 1 year span for me to basically double my income, so that you can kind of take nuggets away from that to see what you can do and what's possible for you. And then after that, once I'm done with my little story spiel, I'm going to share with you my actual stats on where I got my referrals from those years as well. And I'll show you the difference of where I got my referrals from in 2015 versus 2016. So also, just so you know, my income was $69,000 in revenue in the year 2015. And in 1 year, to 2016, it went to $137,000 in revenue. And remember, revenue means gross income. So I would still have to take away my expenses from that and also pay my taxes from that. So it's not like I made that much money take home. It was my overall revenue. Okay. Keep that in mind. Okay. So first, this is a story about 2015 to 2016, but I need to give you a little bit of a backstory about 2014 before I can do that. So basically 2014, I was really, really focused on getting in alignment with who I am at my core and my why, and who my ideal client is. And this took me 6 months to figure out. It took me a long time because I invested $10,000 in a business coach so that he can hold my hand every step of the way and help me really dive into all of that so I can get a lot of clarity. Because before that, I was just acting super professional. I don't know. I put up this front that I thought, because I was young, I think I was like, when I started my business, I was about 21 or so. I'm like, who's going to trust a 21-year-old? And I have a baby face too, so I look young. So who's going to trust me to document, important memories on their wedding days or any other event, right? So I put on this front of me being older than I am. I dressed differently from how I wanted to. And the way I spoke and everything felt so inauthentic. And even if I went to like a client meeting, I would shake their hands and be all formal. And I just felt like I was trapped in a cage, and I was just sick of it. And if you guys listen to episode 1 of the Shine and Thrive podcast, I take you literally from my beginnings, like the very, very beginning of me starting my career to now. And you can see the growth there. But yeah, I basically felt trapped and something needed to change. And I discovered this coach. His name is Jeff Yoakum. And this shifted so much in my life, and not only in my life, but obviously in my business. So this took me 6 months to learn. So basically at the end of 2014, I rebranded officially to, then I was Sara, Monika, wedding photographers for free-spirited and adventurous couples. That's kind of where it all happened. And before that, my brand was Sarunia Photography. Sarunia is basically like a sweet name in Polish for my name, Sara. And I was a generalist. I shot everything. I said I would shoot events, newborns, bar mitzvahs, weddings, everything. So I was trying to attract everyone, but really I was speaking to no one. And that's why I wasn't bringing in that much income. So to let you know, at the end of 2014, that is when I rebranded. Okay, now we can move forward into where everything has been, where everything shifted. By the way, I have some really, really exciting news for you guys. And those of you who have been following me know that this is coming. So the thing that took me 6 months to learn, I'm now teaching in a mini course online. And it's basically teaching you how to go how to do that in about 5 days to 2 weeks time. So I figured out a way to like shorten that time frame for you so you can get there faster. And everything I'm about to say in this podcast, you'll see what I mean on what kind of foundation you would have to lay down in order to see that kind of a beautiful big jump in your business. Okay, so 2015, this is when I had a wedding show in January where I stood out for the first time. I used to do wedding shows before that, but I was, blending into all the other booths. I was showing up how I thought I had to show up. The decor was like kind of classic and plain, and I dressed up professional and all of that. And I did have some success there, but not as much success as I did when I showed up at this wedding show. And I was blown away. I ended up booking 7 weddings from that wedding show. And I think my pricing then was about $3,500 per wedding or so. So I was like, oh my God, 7 weddings at $3,500. Like, that's incredible. And because I was so polarizing, because I rebranded basically to who I am at my core, and I was attracting basically those types of people that are exactly who I am, I showed up so bohemian and adventurous in my booth. I showed up barefoot. I did everything I could to be polarizing. And by polarizing, it means that some people will love it and some people will hate it. And that is exactly what was so powerful about it, because those that loved it were like, oh my God, are you real? Do you really exist? I need to book you now. How can we make this happen? And I've never, ever, ever in my business before that had that kind of reaction. So that was incredible. And I ended up booking in 2015, I ended up booking 13 weddings for that year. But I was booking so many for the following year. So you guys know how it works. Around in January, February, March, April, you get an influx of inquiries usually every year, because a lot of people get engaged on Christmas, New Year's, all of that. And you're still booking into that current year, but you're still getting inquiries for the following year as well, for those that like to plan more ahead than like 6 months or 8 months in advance of their wedding. So yeah, I was at the same time as I was booking more weddings for 2015 that year, which I ended up having 13 total. I was booking so many for 2016. I was getting so freaking excited, and so I felt so empowered. So because I felt super clear in who I was finally and how I wanted to shoot, that's why that was happening. And I basically started attracting couples that I felt like I could be myself around, which was like something I was terrified of. I know that feeling. I know how terrifying it could feel to just show up as you unapologetically and put it out the door of how you think you should act. So because I felt like I could be myself around them, those that were attracted to me like a magnet because of my personality, the same interests that we had, they ended up feeling the same way. They were like, I feel like I could be myself around you. And that was the beginning of a huge realization that part of the experience I want to offer my clients, my couples, is I want them to feel that they can be comfortable to be themselves around me. And that started off with me showing up vulnerably. So that year, I also transitioned from shooting for like blogs, because I used to think that in order for me to be successful and be found out and, for couples to find me, I would have to be featured on blogs. I started transitioning from shooting that to for my couples, for my people, for the moments that mattered the most. And I basically said, you know what? I believe that if I really, really take care of my couples and I take care of myself as an artist, and I tell stories that are aligned authentically with how I want to shoot and also what matters most to my couples, I will be taken care of. So that's what I believed. And I stopped chasing publications and all of that. And that was exhausting to me. And I just stopped. And I also realized that I thought that my clients wanted a Pinterest style. Like Pinterest was so popular, and, the pins that got pinned the most were the pretty ones, the details, the beautiful portraits of the bride and groom on a mountaintop or wherever. I thought that was the only way to be found out, to be found on Pinterest and for couples to book you. But it wasn't. It's just a form of inspiration that they gather for their own wedding, but it isn't the only way to get noticed online. And that's what I realized that year, because I was showing up so much more authentically on Instagram, and people were really, felt really connected to that. And so I realized if I had this limiting belief that the only way to get noticed was to have perfect Pinterest style photos, I realized it was a limiting belief. And I was like, I asked myself, would I want that? Like, would I only want those photos in my wedding gallery for my own wedding? And I'm like, no, I wouldn't want just those photos. Like, maybe I would want a couple, but like the main ones I would care about would be the connections that I'm sharing with my family and friends, and me and my future hubby, like just like connecting so much throughout the day naturally, and me being free on my wedding day, doing what I want when I want, because I am a free spirit and I don't want anyone to tell me what to do and all of that. And so that's what mattered to me. And I was like, you know what, if that matters to me, there must be more people out there like me. So I stuck to that, and I really believed in that and showed up unapologetically that way. So that year, 2015, with me doing all of that, I made $69,000 in my business. Okay. But remember that in the meantime, I was booking so much for 2016. So now I get to tell you the exciting stats on 2016. So 2016, I ended up booking 29 weddings. I doubled it. And I doubled it with also incrementally raising my rates as well. So that helped me make a lot of money as well. So basically, I kept showing up authentically on Instagram and with my clients and with anyone that I met in person. That was my strategy. My strategy was to show up as me everywhere. And that paid off. That's basically all I did. I wasn't chasing publications. I wasn't trying to get featured in this magazine, or I didn't pay for one Facebook ad or anything like that. It was just that simple. And it being that simple made marketing fun for me. And it being so freeing to just simply be myself and feel accepted and loved also made marketing so enjoyable for me as well. And especially in August 2016, when Instagram released stories. Oh my gosh, I was so excited about that feature, because before, I remember I was trying to like add like photos of myself into my feed and mix in those photos with like my work, but I felt like it was so much extra effort, especially back then when I was still I didn't have a solid like outsourcing workflow. I was still working like so many hours. It felt like such an extra chore to pick, like to somehow get photos of me to have in my feed, right? And I was like, but I want to share even more of like how I am really behind the scenes, more like loosely and candidly. And so when Instagram created the story feature, I was like, oh my gosh, I was on there. I just started like vlogging, and that helped me so much even more, because I can share with you the following year, 2017, I feel like I can never say 2017. Okay, let me enunciate. 2017. The next year I had even more weddings, but I'll get to that. So yeah, I loved that feature. That helped me out so much. And yeah, and also in that time, I had 29 weddings in 2016. I was able to take on so many weddings because this is where I started dabbling in outsourcing and getting some help. So I started out letting go of my editing slowly but surely. I was still figuring out how to make it work because I was still getting frustrated with edits not coming back done properly and all of that. And that was a whole learning curve in itself to figure out my outsourcing workflow so that I could actually be happy with what I was getting back. But I was starting to get help at this point, and that's why I was able to take on that many weddings. But at this point, I was still working 12 to 15-hour days with editing, marketing, and also that year I was a server on the side. So I was reaching that like pinnacle of like, oh my God, it's happening for me. I'm being noticed. I'm booking all these weddings. Like my dream is coming true, but I was getting so burnt out, which is okay. It's okay. It's part of the process. Like you just have to figure out, okay, how can I sustain this kind of income without feeling burnt out? So that's the next journey that I went on after that. But the foundation that I built in my business for me to simply show up as myself, like on Instagram, at weddings, whenever I meet people in person, that was so powerful because it catapulted my business to basically being in such high demand, because those that were exactly like I was, not exactly like those couples and clients that, felt like our personalities would connect easily and all of that, they became a magnet to me, and they were just like, how can we book you? How can we book you? So that was really, really fun. But yeah, I was reaching burnout, but that's okay. Cause I was like, that's okay. That's the next problem I will solve. I'm really grateful for the abundance of bookings that I have. So basically that year I made $137,000 in my business, which doubled from the year before. It was a huge win for me. And yeah, that year meant so much, because for me to be able to show up as myself and make a lot of money, I was like, wow, I'm living the dream. I was so happy. So definitely want to share that that's possible for you too. And I mean, I can take you literally by the hand and show you how to do that as well. So I'm really excited about that too. Also, so because of that, I was able to quit my serving job as well in the spring of 2017. So, oh my gosh, my dream came true. I was full time. Like that was like, oh, I love that year so much. And yeah, that's pretty much the story within like 1 year, how I doubled my income. And on top of that, I can just mention the next year, I made, $166,000 in my business. Remember, this is revenue. And at this point, I booked 33 weddings. I had a better handle on outsourcing, running my business, marketing, and I was consistently raising my rates and working less as well. So if you're thinking 33 weddings, I mean, I was shooting more weddings, but I was taking on fewer sessions as well because I was raising my rates. So fewer couples were booking engagement sessions with me, but I didn't mind that because my favorite thing to document is the story of a wedding day. So for me, I don't mind if I shoot 1/3 of my weddings like engagement sessions. I actually prefer that. Otherwise 33 would be too much, but I was really happy shooting 33 weddings. So you just have to figure out what makes you happy. For me, my favorite thing is weddings, so that makes me happy. If you're someone that wants fewer weddings, like 20 weddings but 20 sessions, then that will make you happy, and you can figure out how to get to that point. So it's all about customization, and I love that about, us being free in our lives to create whatever decisions we want to, or to make whatever decisions we want to make to create a business that is totally aligned with what we want, not what we think we should do. So through the foundation, basically, of me being really clear on who I was, who my ideal client is, and offering what I wanted to offer, that's what created so much more demand for me, right? Okay, so now I can share with you where I had my booking referrals from throughout those years to show you the difference of where they came from before I rebranded to being very aligned with who I am and who my ideal client is. So in 2015, I'll share with you my top 5 referrals, basically from 2015, 16, and 17, so you can see the growth pattern and the difference of where they're coming from. So 2015, my number one referrer was Facebook, and that was 7 bookings. Then the second one was the 2015 January wedding show, which was 7 bookings. The third one was a photographer referrals group on Facebook, which was 5 bookings. The fourth one, I counted as like I personally met them. So I actually get so many referrals from just meeting people throughout and them remembering exactly what I do and being so specific about it, and them also feeling connected to it. So that works really well. So that's why I say show up as yourself everywhere, because every person you meet, you don't know who's going to be your client. So basically personally met them was 5 bookings, and then word of mouth was 4 bookings. So this was 2015. Okay. Now 2016, this was the year that so much shifted, right? My word of mouth bookings came first, and that was 13. Number 2 was Instagram with 10 bookings. Number 3 was the January wedding show in 2016, which was 8 bookings. Number 4 was people that I personally met. That was 7 bookings. And number 5 was Facebook, which was 6 bookings. And through Facebook, I think it was just me constantly posting to my business page and people seeing it and following it, and sometimes posting it to my personal page. I think that's what that was, a combination of that. Okay, then just for fun, let's check out 2017. So my number 1 was Instagram, which was 26 bookings. So that's a big jump. It just came from consistently showing up. Number 2 was word of mouth, which was 13 bookings. Now this is different. Look at here. Number 3, guests at weddings, which was 6 bookings. Number 4, other photographers, 6 bookings. And number 5, personally meeting people with 5 bookings. So as you can see, In this one here, so many of them have to do with how I show up online and in person, and people understanding how, like, me being super, super clear on that. So as you can see that over the years, my bookings have basically focused in on word of mouth. So people in person or word of mouth and Instagram. And now all I do is I just keep focusing my marketing efforts on social media, on basically Instagram only, because I don't want to be so like spread too thin with being everywhere. It's just like too much effort for me. And I love Instagram. I find it really fun and enjoyable. And it's so easy to just spontaneously post a story and be authentic in it. So that, and I also focus on just my clients and people in person. So if I can just create an amazing, memorable experience for my clients, that will create word of mouth. If I'm creating that amazing experience genuinely on that wedding day, I show up at 100% every single time, their family and friends will notice that. Their guests will notice that. If I interact with the guests in a specific way, or I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are so cute, can I quickly take a photo of you, or whatever, like, they will remember that. So that's where my marketing focus goes. And then I don't have to be stressed out about all the other avenues I can market my business. So this is what works best for me. This is what has made marketing super fun for me as well. And it's not the only way, and it's not the best way. It's the best way that it worked for me. And if you're listening to this and you're like, I would love that, that resonates so, so much with me, then it's so possible for you to do the same thing. And just remember that I am my own unique person, and I attract couples for that specific reason. And you are also your own unique person, and you would attract other couples and clients for whatever you have to offer in your unique way. And there's so much to go around. There's like almost 8 billion people in the world, and so many people constantly getting married or having kids or having families, whatever you want to choose to specialize in and photograph, right? So there is always so much to go around. So don't feel that, don't feel that fear that will stop you from showing up as yourself, because you think, oh, I might lose that booking if I show up as myself. Like, you're already being judged anyway. Why not just be judged for who you really are? And at the end of the day, let me also be honest with you. Throughout all these years, I never had really any backlash or trolls or any negative comments about anything that I've done, because I think what we share is so joyful. It's like we're just sharing an image of something that we love so much, or so special for someone. Then, I mean, all I got was love about who I am, about who my ideal clients are, and what's it called, and my work. So usually the people that would stop by my Instagram page and not feel connected with me just wouldn't follow me. And that's amazing. And then you end up building this beautiful like tribe of people who really connect with you, support what you do, will become your evangelists, which means they will, talk about you to other people that they think for example, they're looking for a wedding photographer, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I know exactly, like, you would connect with this photographer so well. You both love doing yoga. You're both a little like free spirited. Oh my gosh, like, you need to connect with her. And that's exactly what happens to me. And I want the same for you. So if you want to learn how to attract and book your dream clients, just as I have, and remember, without figuring out the freaking ads or trying to get featured everywhere, because that's stressful, then I created a 5-lesson mini course for you to do just that. So you can head over to saramonika.com/crystal clear to grab the mini course. And this is what I've been teaching so many photographers through one-on-one coaching over the years. And I'm realizing that so many photographers need help with this. So I was like, okay, let me help more photographers in a more efficient way. So now you get to have access to the step-by-step system that I teach photographers, like one-on-one, at a fraction of the cost. And you have this for life, and you can rewatch it however many times you need to do. And I literally take you step by step. You have 5 lessons, 5 homework assignments. And yeah, this lays your foundation in your business in such a powerful way. So yeah, I cannot wait to see you in there. Again, go to saramonika.com/crystal clear and grab the mini course. Also, feel free to DM me if you do. I want to welcome you warmly and throw some confetti at you. Be like, yay, you're joined. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear about your progress. So make sure to DM me if you grabbed it at Sara Monika Photo on Instagram, and we can celebrate together. Awesome. Well, can't wait to see you there, and hope you have an amazing day. Yay! Thank you so much for hanging out with me and tuning into this episode. If you got value out of it, please feel free to message me on Instagram at Sara Monika Photo. That's Sara no H, Monika with a K photo, to let me know. I get so freaking energized hearing from others that what I've said has had a positive impact on their lives. Also, make sure to hit subscribe to the Shine and Thrive podcast to never miss an episode. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm sending you all the productive vibes your way so you have the best week ever.